Dear diary. I'm tired. I am tired. It's day 9, and today I plan to analyze a PDF file actually. And the file or the malware or the malicious file, I got it from this course, performing malware analysis on malicious documents. So Tyler Hudak shows, how to analyze PDFs and document files. So that's what we're gonna do today. That's what I'm gonna do and you're gonna watch. Anyways, I have 1 minute. I need to move the shared folder. So I have already downloaded that into my sandbox. And so here we go. Here goes nothing. So I downloaded it some 15 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. Extract your folder. That's the folder. That's it. And this is the file. Password is now pluralsight. And we're extracting it to pluralsight. Okay. And there's our file. Important.pdf. And of course, the first thing we do is file identification. To get file identification, you can just, it's PDF, but you can run that in here, not exe, it is PDF packed z.lib. So it shows that it's packed as a PDF. What's there? Creation date hasn't converted it for us. It looks like 2017 0421. That's creation date on here. That's just the creation date anyway. So okay. We can take a screenshot of that. That's from yesterday. I had to find it doc yesterday. So exe info. And so we start today. So that's Feb 9A. Screenshot A. Close that. You can also check P Studio. P Studio tells you that. So one of the characteristics of PDF is that in the header file there'll actually be PDF written there, but it has to come in the first 1024 bytes. Okay, so as I was saying, you need to the word PDF has to come in the first 1024 bytes, and it has to come in the header anyways. It doesn't always happen that way, but attackers can be funny. Anyways, that's that. Let's see indicators. Let's see what P Studio has found. Okay, it's found PDF. It's found. I don't know what it has found here, but well, look at that. It's found what looks like a macro file, document file. Okay, it's found some self-flate decode. It's found stream. It's found another stream that that's encoded. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's much to see in there. All right. Well, it's not a PE file, so we don't expect PE Studio to know anything. Now, for tools for this, just before we go to PDF tools, let's do a quick, so PDF. nothing to see here. Kind of day. End of start ref. Plate the code. Well, nothing to see here. We use PDF ID or PDF parser. Actually, we can try stream dump. Let's see. So that's to object 6. So this is just listing all the objects. Object 1 sort of has the header. It has, and then object 10, object 11 has some embedded files, but it calls object 10. Object 10 has a document file and it calls object 4. That's in object 4. Object 4 calls object 3 with the document file. Yeah, and yeah, it's inside 3. So this is 5040. This PK looks like a zip file. XML as well. So this might actually be the macro in binary in object 3. But if we go to object 13, there's nothing in object 13. Alright, so what we can do is get into PDF parser. For that, copy the folder for this, cd, boom. Alright, so pdf-parser. I'll just run that once, and it gives us a quick summary of the options you can select. PDF parser use it to parse a PDF document. Yeah, show programs version, number, and exit. Let's see, version. So it's version 0.7, right? 0.7. Okay. All right. Anyways, let's go back. There's help file. There's manual. There's object. So if you want to reference an object, ID of an indirect object. Well, D is dump. File name to dump stream content. So instead of piping it using the greater than sign, you can use this. C is content to display the content for objects without streams or with streams without filters. F is filter, pass stream objects through filters. So flates the code, ASCII, hex the code. So so F works to decode, right? Dash F is to decode. What else? Is there a dash W somewhere? Oh, there's a dash W. Oh yeah, dash W is raw. So raw output for data and filters. Display starts for PDF, right? So if we do, okay, so PDF parser dash A, then we're looking at important PDF, right? PDF parser dash A, important PDF, just gives us, okay, there are, so this is like the raw display of stats. So this is the raw stats of it. So there's the JavaScript, there's JS, right? The embedded files, and in PDF, what we look out for are open action. This is so any should I say any stream or any object that has open action would run once the file is opened. So whatever script is in that module or in that section would run. And then of course there's embedded files, there's JavaScript, So as VBA or Visual Basic or macros is to document files, Word docs or XML. So it's JavaScript to PDF. So that's what is used um, to drop the payload. So payload is written in JavaScript, and of course it's JS JavaScript. So the keywords, these keywords are quite important. And then it's listed the object. What we can do is do a PDF ID. Yeah, I did not think that through. Um, PDF ID important, and that lists 13 objects, and of course obj is the start one, and obj is the end. Um, tells us that there are JavaScript scripts in there. There's open action in there, right? There's embedded file in there, um, but we haven't still seen any of the objects. So what I'm going to do now is I will do PDF dash parser important, and then I'll pass that into PDF parser that text. All right. If we check now, we have a .text file here. This is the output. Right, so just talking through this, object 3 has an embedded file and it's referencing object 2 and object 1. Right. Object 2 is not referencing anything. Object 1 doesn't need to be referencing anything. It just has, size in there. Right. Go to object 4. Object 4 is referencing 3. All right, and we see this docm in here, right? Again, because this is I've forgotten the language now for PDF. We might, just have to read up stuff. So I can bring this here to read up, file spec. Oh, come on. Yep. So you can refer to contents from another file, using that. So of course, you see that in object 4 is, referencing or referring to this docm, but we haven't seen anything about the docm yet. Cool. But object 5 has flates decode, so that means there is some encoding here. Same with object 7. Length here is 229, length here is 66. Object 9 has some resources, contents, and stuff, and is referencing 3 other objects. Right. Object 6 looks like this is for the ANSI encoding. It has the fonts, details about the font. Object 9, I'm sorry, object 8 is referencing 9, and doesn't need to be doing anything, to be honest. But object 10 is referencing 4 and has the name of the document. Now, if we go back to 4, object 4 is referring to that same document, right? So we need to run down this document. Where is the document, right? Object 11 is embedding files in object 10. So it's embedding the files in this name, which is the document, and then, referencing object 4 as well, because object 4 is the one that is sort of ingesting things from the document. Object 12 is referencing 8, 11, 5, and it's calling JavaScript, right? In JavaScript, we go to object 5. Where is object 5? We see that object 5 is encoded. There is nothing in there at the moment that we can see, but it has a length of 229 and it is encoded, so we can decode that. Okay. Object 13 just has creation dates, modified dates, not much, right? That's it. So those are the 13 objects. What we can do now is we can quickly scroll up. Okay, so this F is to decode it, and W is to print the raw data. So what I'm going to do again is put PDF parser F W and make this underscore. Oh, sorry. Make this underscore raw. If I do that, we see now that it is 75 KB, which is larger than the original file. So we have more things out there. Okay, if we open that, we see object 3 it's much larger than we thought. All right, that is just object 3. All right, so that's just object 3. We see now that object 5 has function is finished, CNAME, just looks like some JavaScript. Yep. So this is function. So if we just do some light, tap that, bring this in. Okay. Just to make it readable. Maybe we can copy this into what's it called? Let's copy it into VS Code actually. So taking this into VS Code. That's from yesterday. Select a language, JS. Okay, so what is this one closing? This is closing that. This is closing. Okay. So if this, right? If when you type a message, it finishes Boolean. Return Boolean. Okay. Yeah, and then export this data. We don't know what that data is, so we're going to look for a way to get that out. See here that it's also calling that same number. Same number, same file. Yeah, not much has changed. Okay, so what then can we do? All right, now we'll go up here again. So O object ID, so indirect object select. Okay. So if we do I hope this works. As dash O3 and then do object 3. Actually, let's use the D function here. Let's see, does that work? Okay, so object 3, what's in that folder? Okay, we have object 3 in here. How do we check file type? File. Forgotten how to check file type. But what we can do is we can put this in exe info, not exe deflated office viewer xml docx of, right? So we see here that it looks like it's docx office 207. If you put that in PE Studio, looks like a PK file, which might indicate that it's zipped, but hey, strings here show that it is a Word document, right? Okay, so if we bring that back, let's have a CLS on here. If we do a quick, will only ID work on that? Only ID object 3. Yep. So straight off the bat, only ID works, and we see the files here. Again, let me take my screenshot. Okay, that's Fab9B. And off the bat, you see that, yep, it got yes, macros, suspicious, high. Yeah, it's a docm. File is not encrypted. File content, blah blah blah. All right, so we know it's a. Okay, let me just do this again, just because I did not get a screenshot the other time. All we do for documentation. See, all we do for documentation, Okay, so well, now we know that our object 3 is the macro, right? There's really nothing else to get from there. What I can do is I can get the hash of this. So I'm going to get the copy lines, get the hash of that. And I'm going to put the hash. The hash is for the PDF and the doc or macro file in, as usual, in VirusTotal. So the first one is the docm. Oh, come on. Rightly so, names it, gets it correct. 40 out of 62. File submission date 0421. Just as our files have said, is a Microsoft Office, has a JPEG, and has 13 XML files in it. Yeah, so that is interesting. Then we've got this for the PDF, right? It's XPDF 13 out of 61. It's been known by so many names. So many names except important.pdf. Interesting. Okay, we can put that in random OSINT. See, important.pdf. All right, so moving on from there, we see that Oli ID has already worked on that to get us this, and then we go into the usual Oli VBA -A. It gave us so Oli VBA straight up just gives us what's in here. So there's macro here, there's macro here, there's macro here. There's so many macros in there. They all look to be empty, I think. Because so this one just calls the run exe, run DLL. This one sets Tahoma. This one calls the URL. Okay, that's interesting. But here we see, okay, that's the only URL. We can do ODVBA just to remind ourselves what we need to check. Okay, so we can then do ODVBA deobf for deobfuscation. Then we reveal it as well. Relate like that in object. And then I'll send it to, where am I sending it to? obj3 oli.js. No, sorry, .vb. That's a macro, isn't it? Okay, that is interesting. Did it do anything? Okay, so we've got this, which is 11. Let's try to open that. Let's try to open that. See what we get. All right, so it seems okay, so this is what it looks like. So this macro is from this document. Let's see which one we actually need. I think we should, okay. Let's open. So this is an empty macro. We can delete this. Okay. What does this do? Doesn't look like it does much. Module 1. Okay, we're starting to see some interesting variable strings in there. Now let's export. Okay, so this looks like a URL, right? And we're trying to split it by odish.com and caption. So you can search for this, right? It looks like the same everywhere. So if you Control C on there and do find, right? Okay, just look for the variable name. Just 2. That's interesting. Yeah, must be. Yeah, this is VP. There must be something that's taking it out. But show.com, yeah, it looks like then comcast.biz.net looks like another URL. Okay, unbound, hellbound, rebound. Okay, moved permanently. And then we begin to see some interesting things here. So Windows management, impersonation level. This actually looks like clean coding. Sorry to say, but this is clean coding. Okay, so let's see again. I see an Odish here. So if we go to mine was there. Okay, there's Odish again. Yeah. Alright. So it seems, you know what? I'm going to open file. I'm going to open that again. I don't think I have saved it. Don't save. Right? So don't save. And then we'll open it again. Just because I want to be sure. Right, so this is module. Let's go back to the top. So, okay, so this is Odish. Odish is empty macro, right? But okay, how many places do we have Odish in? 14. Okay. So, I mean, without much debate, we can see that here are 3 URLs, right? So it seems you know what? I can just check this. Maybe this is a VBA. Where is it? Okay, yeah, there it is. Let's see. That means. Okay. That doesn't look to mean anything. Right. Well, we've got the URL, so this would be part of the IOCs, obviously. Right, so rootseller.us, share with business.us, .com, and then sgph.comcast.biz, comcastbiz.net. Okay, so Project Darwin equals to Project Darwin minus Project Darwin equals 12. So change Project Darwin to 0 here. Arizona Project Darwin divided by 2. Keep going. So Windows Management is making a call. Of course, this is computer name, and then looking to go to this root. Yeah. Okay. Moved permanently I. So this is going to the first URL. Right. Well, I is any. It's like a loop, so any URL. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. Right, of course, enter computer name is here, and this looks like it's going to the window video controller. I wonder what it does. Okay, doesn't look like form string, audio show. Doesn't look like much. So yep, we've got those 3 URLs, the hashes, and some of the functions where it calls video controller. One thing we can do is so if we do full deob of so that's object 3. Let's see what happens. This looks like a save file method. Okay, so where has he found this HTTP? I didn't see that HTTP anywhere. Interesting. All right, so okay. I think that is the end really. So we've got the hashes, we've got, you know, the we've got what, you know, the suspicious ones, the calls, the keywords, and yeah, I think that's all for this. So, yep, good analysis. See you again tomorrow. Thank you, Dari.